Imagine standing in the middle of a sunlit nursery. The walls are painted a soft, hopeful yellow. A mobile of tiny clouds twirls lazily above a pristine crib. Everything is perfect on the outside, but inside your chest, there's a pressure. Not a flutter of excitement, but something heavier, something unspoken. A weight that doesn't show on the ultrasound. You try to breathe. You try to feel grateful. Isn't this what you wanted? Isn't this what so many people pray for? Yet every breath feels like it's borrowed. Every heartbeat is followed by a question mark. What if something goes wrong? What if you're already doing it wrong? This is the paradox no one warns you about. How the most beautiful anticipation in your life can be haunted by the most primal fear. How a positive pregnancy test can become the first page of a psychological thriller where the villain is invisible, internal, and incredibly persuasive. Pregnancy anxiety isn't about a single moment of doubt. It's a low hum that grows louder in the quiet. A tightrope walk between joy and dread, where your mind loops endlessly through worst-case scenarios. You think you're preparing. You think you're being vigilant. But really, you're being consumed. And the cruelest part? The world doesn't see it. Friends celebrate your glow. Strangers offer smiles. But beneath the surface, your nervous system is on high alert. You wake at 3 a.m, heart racing. Was that cramp normal? Did you eat something wrong? You Google symptoms, one hand on your belly, the other scrolling through a minefield of medical forums that blur the line between caution and catastrophe. Why does no one talk about this part? Why is silence the loudest response to something that feels so urgent? Because pregnancy is supposed to be radiant, sacred, untouchable. Anxiety, on the other hand, is messy, unruly. It doesn't fit into baby shower conversations or ultrasound photos. It hides behind forced smiles, nodding through prenatal advice while your inner voice screams, "But what if I can't do this?" Here's the truth you need to hear, even if it goes against everything the world whispers to you. Anxiety during pregnancy is not weakness. It is not overreaction. It is not something you can simply breathe your way out of. It's a biological response to profound change. Your brain is adapting to protect not only your body but the future forming within it. And like any ancient system, it sometimes misfires, casting shadows where there should be light. You're not imagining the fear. You're feeling it, viscerally, in your blood, your muscles, your thoughts. And yet, you're still getting up, still making decisions, still loving. That's not fragility, that's resilience. Quiet, fierce resilience. But here's the next paradox. You can be resilient and still need help. You can be grateful for your pregnancy and terrified by it at the same time. You can carry life inside you while quietly fearing your own unraveling. And that's not a contradiction. That's the complexity of being human. So what do you do when the anxiety doesn't pass? When the usual mantras, "Trust your body, it's just hormones," begin to sound like distant echoes rather than anchors? You don't fight the anxiety head-on. You don't try to defeat it with logic. Because anxiety is not always a problem to be solved. It's a language, a coded message from your inner world, a signal that something deep, intuitive, and possibly long suppressed is asking to be seen. Instead of silencing it, what if you listened? What if the very act of listening is the healing? In the next section, we'll explore the gentle tools, the psychological acupuncture needles, if you will, that help decode that message. Tools not designed to erase the anxiety, but to unburden it, to shift it from tormentor to teacher, from something that controls you, to something you can hold, examine, and gently set down. Because pregnancy anxiety doesn't make you unfit for motherhood, it proves that you're already mothering deeply, protectively, imperfectly human. And maybe, just maybe, the first person you need to mother is you. You sit in the car, keys in the ignition, eyes locked on the steering wheel. The appointment is only 10 minutes away, just another routine checkup. Nothing new, nothing urgent. But your hands are trembling. Your heart is doing that uneven thing again, like it's trying to tap out a warning in Morse code. You're afraid, but you can't say why. Or rather, there are too many reasons to count. What if the heartbeat is gone? What if the doctor sees something wrong in your face, in your blood, in your silence? You press your palm to your belly, trying to remind yourself what's real. But the truth is, anxiety doesn't respond to reality. It only responds to fear. So you do what you've been doing, push it down, smile through it, survive another day. But survival isn't the same as peace, is it? Here's where things shift. Here's where we stop trying to fix the anxiety and start learning how to live with it. Not by force, not by denial, but with a kind of radical gentleness that feels almost counterintuitive in a world addicted to fast fixes. Let's begin with the first tool. And if no such person exists in your life right now, you are not broken. You are not alone. There are therapists, doulas, support groups, even text lines designed exactly for this. Not for crisis only, but for companionship in the slow, everyday unraveling that anxiety brings. Rewriting the inner mother voice. You may think the work starts once the baby is born, but your mothering instincts are already online, and right now, they're directed at you. The voice you use with yourself when you're scared or sad. That becomes your child's template someday. So try speaking to yourself as you would to your future child. I see you're scared. That makes sense. I'm here. Not calm down, not stop overreacting, but presence, compassion. If that voice feels foreign at first, that's okay. Let it feel fake. Let it feel awkward. With time, it becomes a language your nervous system learns to trust. And when the storm hits again, you won't just survive it. You'll meet it with steadiness, not suppression. In the final section, we'll explore how these tools come together not just as techniques, but as a quiet revolution. How you can emerge from pregnancy not untouched by anxiety, but transformed by it. Not unafraid, but unbroken. Let me know when you're ready to continue to the final section. You never expected strength to look like this. Not like armor or certainty or the ability to power through. Instead, it's this quiet awareness. A strange stillness in the eye of the storm. You're still afraid sometimes. The anxiety still knocks. But now, something in you doesn't flinch. Not because the fear is gone, but because it no longer owns you. This is what no one tells you about pregnancy anxiety. It's not a detour from motherhood. It's the initiation. There's this myth we carry, deeply embedded in the culture, that transformation is clean. That becoming a mother is like stepping through a doorway, one clear moment, one visible shift. But the truth is far more ancient, far more raw. Transformation is a descent, a shedding, a confrontation with all that was uncertain in you before this began. Anxiety is not the enemy, it is the threshold guardian. And now, finally, you know how to face it. So what does life look like after you stop fighting your anxiety and start walking with it? 1. From reaction to response. Redefining control. Control used to be your compass. You tried to get ahead of every possible danger, researching symptoms, monitoring sensations, crafting mental escape routes from scenarios that never happened. But control is brittle. It shatters under the weight of life's messiness. What you've learned now is response, a deeper form of agency. It's not about eliminating fear. It's about choosing your next breath, your next action, despite the fear. Anxiety might still say, "What if you're not ready?" But now, your body replies, "I don't need to be ready. I just need to stay here." And that changes everything. Ritualizing the unknown, making peace with uncertainty. Before, uncertainty was intolerable. Now, it has become part of your ritual. You greet it. You light a candle for it. You let it sit at your table. Not because you like it, but because you've realized that resisting uncertainty only makes it grow teeth. When you welcome it, you remove its weapon. You've made sacred the not knowing. You understand now that questions are not voids to be filled, they are portals. Will everything be okay? You don't know, but you're here. You are still showing up. And that is more powerful than any answer. Living in the pause, the sacred middle. Pregnancy, you've learned, is not just a countdown. It's a liminal space, a space between identities. You are no longer who you were, and not yet who you will become. That ambiguity once terrified you. Now, it humbles you. In the Western world, we rush through transitions. We want results. We want certainty. But real transformation requires stillness, waiting, surrender. You have stopped measuring progress by productivity. Now, you measure it by presence. Can you sit with discomfort without needing to fix it? Can you feel sadness without translating it into guilt? Can you be in the middle, messy and unsure, and still call yourself whole? That is power. Witness consciousness. Becoming your own sanctuary. Here's the ultimate shift, the moment you become the witness. Not the fixer, not the fighter, the one who sees. Now when the anxious thought comes, you don't spiral. You recognize it. You name it. You say, "Ah, here you are again," like an old visitor. Predictable in its unpredictability. This isn't dissociation. It's deeper than mindfulness. It's self-containment. You no longer wait for someone to rescue you from your mind. You sit with yourself. You stay. You become your own sacred witness. And here's the magic. Once you can witness your own pain without fleeing, you will be able to do the same for your child. Their tantrums, their night terrors, their confusion. You will not panic. You will not need to fix them to feel okay, because you've already learned how to sit in fire and breathe. Grief and glory. Embracing the full spectrum. There is a grief in this journey that no one speaks of. The grief of losing the illusion of safety. The grief of confronting your limitations. The grief of realizing that motherhood won't always feel like joy. But right next to that grief is glory. Not the loud kind. Not the kind with gold medals or Instagram likes. This glory is quieter. It's in your endurance. It's in the way you've kept choosing softness over silence, presence over perfection. Your pregnancy anxiety did not ruin your experience. It deepened it. It gave you layers. It taught you what no parenting book could. That you can feel scared and still be wise. That you can cry and still be strong. That you can doubt and still be sacred. The child you're becoming. The irony, of course, is that all this work you've done, this tending to your own fear, this mothering of your mind, has birthed something already. Not just the baby you carry, but you. You are not simply becoming a parent. You are becoming the child you never had. The one who is seen, held, told she's enough. You've become the voice that says, "I've got you. I believe you." You don't have to be fearless to be powerful. So what happens next? You'll give birth, maybe with tears in your eyes and doubt in your chest. Or maybe with awe and ease. Either way, you will not be unprepared, because you've already labored, through thought, through fear, through self. You've already practiced surrender. You've already learned to breathe inside the pain. And most importantly, you've already found your way back to yourself. Again and again and again. That is the real preparation. That is the deepest tool. And it was never outside you. It was always there, waiting to be remembered.